Bottom of the hour now, and we are following this breaking news in Washington, D.C.
Major protests surrounding Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech to Congress. So let's go back to NBC News reporter Gary Grumbacher. He's been tracking these protests all day. I do want to start by saying we got some clarity about tools being used by law enforcement today. They say they used pepper spray, not tear gas. Last time we spoke with you, Gary, we also heard some loud bangs. I understand you have clarity about what those sounds were. Talk us through that and just generally what the environment is like right now.
Yeah, things have calmed down significantly since we last spoke, guys. What those bangs were that we last spoke were flashbangs set up by protesters. We saw a number of things happen in the immediate aftermath once we got off the air with you. Cops came into the area and they pulled out a number of people. It seems as if those folks were arrested, those protesters were arrested. And then they also confiscated a number of wagons filled with a ton of different materials in black bags. So the cops were in possession of those wagons. It seems like whatever they were using to create the flashbangs was in those wagons. The cops are now in possession of those. And I just want to give you a sense of what this looks like right now. We are in front of Washington, D.C.'s Union Station, the big train station, one of the biggest on the East Coast, and the front of it has been entirely taken over by thousands of pro-Palestinian, anti-Netanyahu protesters out here. We see folks standing on the podium here near the statues, and we see the flags. Tony, if you can pan up to the flags, the American flags have been replaced by Palestinian flags. So that is certainly notable as well, guys.
Yeah, Gary, I want to know that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has wrapped up his speech to members of Congress. He did reference the protesters, calling them, quote, Iran's useful idiots, being very critical of these protesters. I wonder what you're hearing from protesters there about the message that they're trying to send.
Well, they're trying to send a message that they would like this completely to end. Ceasefire now is something they keep repeating, and they want to bring all of the hostages home. Now, something else is that these folks aren't listening to Benjamin Netanyahu. They have no interest in what Benjamin Netanyahu has to say at the Capitol. They, frankly, didn't want him to be here in the first place. So when I spoke to several protesters, asked if they were tuning in to listen, they laughed in my face and acted as if, why would I be asking such a silly question of them? So that is particularly interesting. Here's what a couple of protesters we talked to earlier today had to say.
And Gary, we don't have that sound at the moment, but since you're out there talking with protesters, seeing the law enforcement presence, talk to us about what the police presence looks like right now. I know earlier it was pretty strong.
Yeah, actually, let me turn the camera around and show you what the police presence looks like. We have folks from the Metropolitan Police Department, the U.S. Park Police, in serious tactical gear here. They have bikes. They have what appear to be pepper spray guns ready to be deployed if they need to be deployed. So there are hundreds and hundreds of folks just like these surrounding Massachusetts Avenue, right in the heart of Washington, D.C., just 2 blocks from the U.S. Capitol.
All right, Gary, going back for us at Union Station, the main train station in Washington. Gary